Big exciting news this afternoon on Purple, this recording about hazard pay. Oh my God, finally. We have been focusing on that $10,000 hazard pay if you worked as an essential worker, you worked as an Uber Lyft driver, you worked as a grocery store worker, you worked as a nurse, you worked as a truck driver, you worked anything like a security guard or a maintenance person. You deserve that hazard pay. You've wondered about the hazard pay. Well, guess what? I have incredible great news. It's incredible news. It's absolutely coming out for the East Coast. It's saying, get this done and get it done right now. For the first time ever, you're seeing incredible push for purple power of our hazard pay, and this is exciting, and this is Purple. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's a great afternoon as we're focused on hazard pay and your grants, getting you money, whether you're an essential worker or non-essential worker, whether you're an independent contractor or non-independent contractor. You are owed that $10,000 of hazard pay under the HEROES Grant, HEROES Fund, HEROES Bill, and you didn't see it formulate. So then what? Is there other hazard pay? Is there other grants? Yes, there are. Yes, they are happening. And now, incredible great news today. In this video, I'll be going over where those grants are, how they're formulated, and why there's incredible great news coming out of Pennsylvania. Oh boy, I'm just so excited for you. It's a great day. Thank you for joining me, and let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is a major call to action across all states is underway for states to pay hazard pay after Governor Tom Wolf was applauded for Pennsylvania's hazard pay program by the Brookings Metropolitan Policy Program. They analyzed Pennsylvania's state-paid hazard pay program and said it was so successful, they're asking all other states to do it right away. This is incredible great news. The governor continues to work with his state legislature to modify it and make it even better. But let me explain what's going on. In CARES Act, the first stimulus package, it dedicated $150 billion to states to pay money to its citizens. And you know what that's been going on with that money? Yeah, you've been tuning in. You know me being very critical. Some states haven't used it, use or lose. Some states are not squandering on things like office furniture and painting the Capitol building. But Pennsylvania, no, they did right for their citizens, and now a major report says other states should do it right away. Pennsylvania is one of 3 states to offer hazard pay through the CARES Act program to both public and private sector worker. The Pennsylvania COVID-19 Pennsylvania Hazard Pay Grant Program is an exceptionally promising model, said the new report out today. Pennsylvania was an early adopter of both COVID-19 mitigation efforts and providing assistance to frontline workers, and this analysis recognized those critical efforts, said Governor Wolf in a statement today. It also confirms what we've all known all along. We need to protect our lowest paid, highest risk workers, and we need to allocate additional funding to spread the critical financial assistance further across our Commonwealth. This is incredible. So what does Brookings say of this program? This is incredible great news. Let me tell you what they say. Pennsylvania's hazard pay grant is essentially a promising model. To date, the grant provides more than 40,000 frontline workers with the equivalent of a 10-week, $3 per hour raise. Eligibility is limited to workers who made less than $20 an hour in essential industries. So this is people who make less than $20 an hour, and it's a $3 per hour raise. The $50 million program was able to meet about 10% of the needs of the applicants. Governor Wolf went on to explain more. The grant was eligible for hazard pay for direct, full-time, and part-time employees. So this is incredible great news. All types of employees were able to apply. Second, they had to have made less than $20 an hour, excluding fringe benefits and overtime, for a 10-week period of August to October, so it's from the summer to now, And employers could apply and get up to $1,200 per full-time employee, up to $500, up to 500 eligible full-time employees per location. This is incredibly great news. They paid out about $900 million, it said, and it was part of their $225 million assistance plan, $20 million for cultural, and $10 million for food. Wow. This is incredible great news. And now the Brookings Institute is saying other states should do it right away. Now, what's incredible great news as you sit here today is other states are doing it. And I've been detailing it for you. That $150 billion of CARES Act 1 money was dedicated to states to spend on you. And they have that money. And now you're using it or losing it. Why did this program just talk about October? Yes, because they got to use the money now. The lose period date is coming up. And so you need to be on social media, and you need to be on Google News, and you need to be looking for the following news articles. Your city plus grant plus CARES Act. Your county plus grant plus CARES Act. Because cities and counties across the country are just getting this money and starting to use it or lose it for hazard pay money funds right now. Now, ultimately, the words that they may use are not hazard pay sometimes. There are a lot of other words that are used to describe hazard pay. They're called bonus pay. They're called essential worker pay. They're called frontline worker pay. Those type of words are used. You and I use hazard pay because we understand the language. Now, how about hazard pay in terms of congressional action? Yes, it was in the HEROES Act. It was taken out. It was put back in and then taken out again. Well, it's out, but the great news is that the offers from Steve Mnuchin and the provisions from the Democrats have hazard pay-ish provisions in there. They're not law yet, but they're absolutely great. And let me explain them to you. First of all, EIDL grant. Someone said the other day to me, sent me a very nice private message, can I go get that EIDL grant? No, it's not live. Then they said, can I get that $10,000 EIDL grant? Don't push my scarf too much. It's not very clear if it's going to be $10,000. We know what happened with that last time. There is the CDC grant. Yes, that's for frontline workers. Incredible great news. So if you're a frontline worker, you can get that. And then there's all the other programs that are for my essential workers. If you're essential worker, you can get a PPP, you can get an EIDL loan, all that and more. Now, that's where we are up to the present. Then there's more. It sounds like I'm on an infomercial. Oh, and then you get a side of Tupperware on the side. And then there's more. Steve Mnuchin's proposal suggests that his $300 billion, no, it doesn't suggest, says it is, his $300 billion allocation for state and local goes all to you. Oh, Lord, let's just sit down. That's a lot of money. Hold on, wait a second. Steve Mnuchin has a $300 billion he's allocating for state and local against the Temple Doom's $400 billion, where her $400 billion could go to, just anything, painting the Capitol, mowing the front lawn in front of the governor's mansion. No. Steve Mnuchin says the $300 million we're going to dedicate is only for essential workers to be paid by state and local. This is incredible great news. So states would get a prorated amount of the $300 billion based upon how large the state is. That calculation's too complicated for this video. Then they would get the money. Then the state, let's take Texas, for example, would get the money. Then Texas would have to send it out to its counties based upon the size of the county. And then the county would get it. And then the county would disperse it to their essential workers. Now, states could also disperse it to their workers on a state level. You saw what the governor of Pennsylvania did, Wolf. He did it on a state level. That's incredibly great news. I have detailed it on a local level, on a city level. I've seen them do it on a county level, and I've seen it done on a state level. Ultimately, if you're an essential worker, this is yours. So who are essential workers? Where is that money, and how can you get the money? Well, when we're talking about CARES Act 1 money, it's there now. Go get it. Most cities and counties and states have dedicated these programs. Some are still announcing them. Go find it. As to money that is coming through the pipeline, then you need to understand who qualifies and where they qualify. We don't have clarity about that yet. But what's important to understand is that these are generally essential workers. Essential workers are sometimes defined as both employees and independent contractors. So just because you're an independent contractor, don't take yourself out of the analysis. That's the first thing. Second, part-time, full-time. Overtime, yes. Don't take one as not qualifying either. All of that qualifies. Worked but then laid off. Worked but then furloughed. Worked but then fired. Don't worry, you still would generally qualify it under all these programs, so long as you worked in the eligibility period. So, for example, in the Pennsylvania example, it was talking about, I think it was August to October. Let's say you worked August and September and then got laid off. Well, that doesn't mean you don't qualify anymore. Hello, that's not the concept of hazard pay. Then there is the money that would come to you if you are based upon an hourly calculation. That has caused some confusion. So some of you would say, I'm not paid on the hourly, I'm paid on the job. That would require you to go back and figure out how many hours it takes to do the job. The example I almost use always for that is my truck drivers. My truck drivers who may be paid, I'm just giving you a number, $10 to drive from Pennsylvania to LA. Well, how many hours does it take you to do that $10 job? Then you'd have to figure out that calculation. Finally, who applies? The big rub and the big confusion. Sometimes it's the employer, sometimes it's you. Sometimes the employer may, sometimes the employer must. Then there's you. If it's you, you're definitely going to apply. You're going to crush the application. Of course you're going to apply. What's incredible great news is that things are out there and they're coming in. So if you're looking for a grant, if you're looking for hazard pay, if you're looking for this money now, you need to do the following. Go on Google News and look for news articles about grant plus city or county, then plus CARES Act. So let me give you an example. Grant plus LA plus CARES Act. Grant plus LA County plus CARES Act, because we have an LA city and LA County, not to make it even more confusing than it was. If you have problems looking for things, go on Twitter and find a Purple Power delegate. These are people who are helping you. It's like hashtag PCA for California, space LA, hashtag LALATE. So if you're in Georgia, yes, it's hashtag PGA, space LALATE. But when you put them together, the worst thing, you're going to find some golf. And you can never have enough golf. Of course you can. And there we go. Now, for the stuff that's coming in the pipeline, well, I'll tell you as soon as it's approved. Finally, EIDL loans. If you've not gotten an EIDL loan and you qualify, please go get one. Just like, hello. It is SBA.gov. Go apply right now. And Main Street Lending Program. I announced that Friday. $100,000 threshold. Oh my God. The excitement that came across my viewers when I announced that. It was just absolutely incredible because they wanted the money. A lot of these programs have no interest or principal due the first year. You can qualify for it. You can go get it. It's needed. It'll make the difference of your life. In the case of SBA, it's paid over 30-something years back. So just go get it. Go get it. It'll make the difference. Let me answer some of your incredible questions and comments from yesterday's video, and I'll come back to more details in a second. Stay with me. Mendelin, the situation is troubling. Mike, the federal government is sickening. They need to do something right now. Oh, before I continue with the comments, I knew I had something else to tell you. Then there's the Federal Reserve. Oh, the push underway tomorrow is to get the Federal Reserve to get their butts off their chair and start moving. The Federal Reserve has done little to nothing for you. They certainly dropped the Main Street Lending Program to the $100,000 on Friday. That was incredible, great news. But Wall Street is shouting on the Federal Reserve, do something right now. This is important for you for purposes of hazard pay. Next, there is private hazard pay, which I did not touch on. You need to ensure that your employer does not have private hazard pay. A lot do. They don't call it hazard pay. They call it bonus pay. And you need to have that discussion with your employer. Also, if you are unionized, talk to your union representative. And if you're not unionized, talk to the union representative that is most aligned with you. For example, let's say you work in a liquor store that has 5 chains. Talk to the grocery union that represents that area if you sell grocery food, because ultimately he may help the push. The unions are pushing for hazard pay or bonus pay like you cannot imagine, whereas other big box retailers like Walmart and Amazon are paying bonus pay. All right, let me continue with some incredible comments and questions. Evelyn, let's tell the president that when the lockdowns come, the American people need the money in their hand. Christine, these people stop playing money. Laura, people are suffering. LALATE, you always give me hope. Hello from Helen, Montana. Laura A. Pippin. Hello, Laura. James Wenhart. I'm worried about the stimulus. Happy Halloween to everyone. Jen. Let's be crystal clear. State and local. Kimberly, hey, Elaine and everyone. Our government needs to get going. Purple Power, heart. I love that. Kevin S. Let's get it. I've worked every day through this, and I work at a parts store for semi-trucks. Without those trucks moving, no one can get anything in the store. So do I get hazard pay? No. General retail is generally not hazard pay. The truck driver is hazard pay. The warehouse delivery operations for your store is hazard pay, but working the store is not hazard pay. Sean, I feel like we're in the purge. Malan, get it done. Troy's talking about Canada. Terry Rose, my daughter and her friend that work at a grocery store thinking of not going back. No hazard pay. No, please go back. But that is essential worker. They would get hazard pay. Michael, Pelosi is hurting Americans. James, people need more than $1,200. Amen. If you have questions or comments in today's video, I know you do. Drop them in the comments below, and I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Please go on social media. Do your push. Look for hashtag first for the delegates. For example, if you're in Texas, hashtag PTX space hashtag LALATE. And then if you want to be part of the discussion, part of the Purple Power caucus for discussing how much hazard pay, go on social media and be part of that discussion. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's hashtag Purple Power hazard pay. Very simple. Hashtag Purple Power hazard pay. They're talking about hazard pay. Be part of the discussion. Share these videos. Tag your politicians and get the message out loud and clear. Go to the Finance channel, subscribe, because together we're going to get through this in record form and we're going to get to the finish line winning together. Also, like this video. Coming up next is McConnell versus Trump and then Street versus Stimulus. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay with LA for more.